Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Studio Party for Monday, November the 8th, 2021. And joining me, as usual, is my favorite co-pilot.
Kal Honey.
And as last week, we at Cal's Virtual Collage Jam, our microphone, although we've attempted to replace its cable and do various things, it's still not working properly. So we're using the built-in microphone on my laptop, which I know isn't perfect, but hopefully it will be adequate for today. And please just let us know in the chat if it is
How it sounded.
yeah, if you're having trouble hearing Cal, especially because he's sort of on the other side of my laptop. And anyway,
I'll do my best to speak up.
Yeah, perfect. So Virtual Studio Party is the studio party that comes to you via live stream on this YouTube channel. And it's been going since March 20th of 2020, when the first lockdown happened for us here in Ontario, Canada. So this week, I'm going to be finally getting to work again on my altered book, which I started as a way of processing the loss of my father, and to honor him, to remember him, to digging through photographs and personal and cultural and family things, imagery, and that aren't photographs, and also reading I've read historical texts related to things my father went through. He was born and grew up in Indonesia on the island of Java, and lived through the Japanese occupation, and Indonesia's independence, and left Indonesia in the late 50s to come to Canada to study. So kind of an interesting life, and it's very interesting learning more about it. I certainly asked him about his experiences, but I wouldn't say that he was there was lots of stuff he wasn't really that keen on revisiting or dwelling on, so fair enough. So I just have to rely on the historical accounts. So anyway, we're going to do a little mixed media today.
Woohoo!
So I did not publicize today's virtual studio party because of all the stuff we've had on our plates. We were out in Peterborough visiting my godmother, whom we have the care of, and getting organized for that with all her winter clothes and various other things. It's been quite a thing. So we may have by the looks of it, a very small crowd today, but hopefully,
small but hardcore.
Hopefully, people will catch it on the replay.
So Rebecca has joined us as usual.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello, Rebecca.
Good
Yay.
To see you.
Yeah. And I asked her what she was up to, and she says, "From the look of my desk, I will need to start with cleaning, then probably work on Christmas presents." Wow.
Oh, wow. It's only November 8th. You are amazing. That's brilliant.
She's probably feeling like she's behind.
Oh, maybe. So you're going to be making things, I take it. So that's
fun,
neat.
Yeah.
And obviously, since you're going to be giving these to people, you may not want to give any secrets away, but if there are little tidbits you can share with us about, like what kind of object or what kind of media you're working in, that would be fun to know.
And Val has joined us.
Hi, Val.
Nice to have you along.
Certainly is. So
Val, just before you joined us, Kim was saying that we may be a smaller crowd today because of Kim didn't.
I didn't publicize it at all.
So
You know, except my general publicity over time.
Yeah.
But
so we've got our hardcore people here
yeah,
today.
thank you,
So
thank you.
for
It's
coming along.
better to have a handful than none.
Exactly.
So that's very nice.
Let us know in the comments what you're up to today, Val.
Yeah, that would be great to know.
Yeah.
So I guess I should switch to the overhead
can
camera. Can you do that?
Start to get stuff ready.
Lovely.
So, yeah, if you're just mind that we're seasick making.
Yes. So cover your eyes if you're prone to motion sickness. I know we have another thing working against attendance today, which is that it is a
beautiful
stunningly
day
beautiful day outside. What's the matter?
Okay. I you instead tilt the camera because I tried to lock this.
Oh, I see.
And it's just
there we go.
Hurt it if you do that. So yeah, there we go. Great.
There we go. It's not very bright. Could you turn up the lights
absolutely.
actually? Because down at the table it's a bit dark.
Yes.
Okay, so I have my book here, and I'm actually going to bring it closer because I seem to need it closer. Good. Good. Which is a science supplement for the 1968 World Book Encyclopedia. And previously I had put this, I think, birth certificate for my dad, and this image transfer that has my grandparents and one of my aunts and my dad very distressed. And then I had put this beautiful Japanese paper. Oh boy, I'm not going to rely on my memory. It's something like Kyozo or something like that. But it has the fibers in it. It's a very beautiful paper that I think it has a Y in it. Pardon me.
Yeah.
And then this was a gel plate print with texture. So it's a long time since I've been in this book, and it's about time I was back in it. So I'll move that out of the way. And what else have I got? I've got some India ink here. I have some plans for India ink. I have some Japanese calligraphy paper. I'm also planning. It's actually, my mother bought this. I'm thinking this is from Australia. I think she must have been taking calligraphy classes in Australia. So I've inherited it, which is awesome. I wanted to share this. So this is a normal Yoo-hoo stick, which is, pretty substantial. But I bought a jumbo one, and I'm quite excited because it will have bigger surface area for gluing things.
Doing like full page
in the book.
Which you do a fair bit of, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of gluing, and in fact, I'm going to start off today doing that. Could you pass me a couple of page protectors from over there, Cal?
I certainly can.
That way I won't mess up my underlying pages. I'm just going to glue some pages together. Okay.
And while you're working on that, I'll pass along that Rebecca says of her Christmas gift workshop.
Yep.
That she makes everyone in both her and Kirk's family Christmas ornaments every year.
Wow.
Last year she did macrame ornaments. This year involves wood and paint. So excellent.
Fantastic.
That's really great.
Yeah.
I love that idea. And Val says that today is a relaxing / thinking day. Spent the last hour outside.
Yes, lovely.
I'm with you, Val. I in spirit, if not in fact, I'm preparing for a course that I'm starting tomorrow, and I'm sitting at my desk looking outside and thinking,
pining
pining
it.
for outside. Exactly.
I started my day with a walk, so I'm ahead
that
of
was
Cal
very
that way.
wise, yeah.
And it was just stunning because it was in the shade. It was over 10 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also kind of freaked out because this is November in Canada, and you know there are still flowers out, so that isn't the best. But you know, just on a selfish day-to-day basis, it's very nice.
In the moment, yes, it's fun. It's wonderful, but in the larger picture, it
does worry me a lot. Okay, using my favorite Bondo applicator to burnish the page, nice and smooth. Doing that, starting in the middle,
looks great,
just like perfect.
Val says it's 17 out right now.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's November 8th. Yeah, that's insane. So I am, I've just done my first spread with this new glue stick, and I'm loving it because it takes fewer strokes of the glue stick to get a page covered. Yeah.
That's good.
I also feel like just gluing the one side is going to be sufficient.
Right, rather than the bi-directional by both sides kind of approach
that you
have taken in the past.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good.
Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I'm going to go with it for now.
Yeah.
I can always be my own conservator if I need to be. So I just start the burnishing from the middle, and then it's easy. And again, I'm using a wide glue stick. I'm using a wide applicator to make it simpler. A little bit of slightly diagonal just to make sure I've got out any of the bubbles. Oh, now that's interesting. How do I feel about that?
That phrase right there is something I hear a lot at our house. Oh, no, that's interesting. And then that Kim is often running on some kind of an interesting
something or other.
Yes.
I'm going to have to glue this page shut. I was originally thinking that I would
take advantage of that.
Yeah, but I need this more. My father was an engineer and worked on electronics and was very interested in the space program and all sorts of things. So yeah, that's going to be, that next spread is going to be useful. This is actually this isn't going to be the most interesting part to watch of my activities today, but it is an excellent warm-up, I must say, for the day, because it helps me get my muscles warmed up, because I've still got my repetitive strain injuries to deal with, and it gets my brain warmed up, so that's good. Yeah, that's going to be nice. All right, get this one. Oh, so good. All right, I'm going to cut these pages out because I think I might be able to use those somehow. And I want to get to some sort of more boring pages.
because to
in order to cover them in other things.
have some carte blanche, relatively blanche to work on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, good. So I've got some. It's always lovely to have some material that can be worked in somehow or other. So that's good. I think I'm going to have to go further ahead to another interesting page.
I actually found that same problem when I was using one of these books in one of your altered books classes earlier, is that there was just so much great visual stuff that I wanted to use. I kept
look at this, right?
having trouble finding a spread that I
crazy.
could glue closed without and be okay with losing what was in it.
Finally, I can sacrifice man against the rat. that I can sacrifice. And look, I get this lovely gray page here. So what I'm going to do is glue this pair together. I've skipped over a bunch of pages because I'm trying to find something I can start layering right on top of. This will be lovely to do an intervention on somehow or other. There, so there's half of that spread. Where the dark ink is, you can really see where you've applied the glue and where you haven't. Very easily.
Right, a lot easier than on the light colored page, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's imperfect on the light colored pages, but you know, one of the things about if you leave gaps in the glue, you can end up with air pockets and therefore bubbles. Okay, I have my first spread that I can work on. That's excellent. So what I'll do is I will pause here. I'll put this in as a bookmark. I'll set that aside. And now I'm going to get out some of this paper. I feel like this could still come a little closer to me.
Just tell me what you need because I'll do it while you work.
It's just bent there, and I just am going to straighten it. That's all. So that I can have it closer to me. That's all.
Well, you can also, yeah.
Cal's very annoyed with me because I'm changing his setup, but it's working for me, so. Okay, this is quite a nice paper in the sense it's not like a super premium paper by any stretch because it's meant for calligraphy practice, but it has a laid finish, and I'm going to get it up close. You see the lines in it? So there are even finer lines going across between those strong vertical lines, and there's a watermark in there as well. As a graphic designer, I used to have to spec paper, and laid finish was always one of my favorites for letterhead and sort of premium things. All right, what I'm looking to do is I have these images. This is my father. Whoops, this is my father as a young man, and this is his father as a maybe slightly older man, but not not a lot older. This is just before, maybe a year before my dad got married, or 6 months before. And this is, he's already the father of 4 children at this point. But my dad got a later start than I think my grandfather did. So anyway, I thought it would be nice to have a spread where they are facing each other in a sense. This is Ink Aid transfer film. It's the one I buy most, but I also buy DAS transfer film, DASS. Ink Aid is INKAID. Which is at inkaid1.com. Numeral 1. I didn't get a perfect print. I should have cleaned the print heads or something. I've got little scratches going through it, but that's fine. There are some things I do that are very precise, and I want very precise effects, and I control them. But most often, I adapt and embrace the accidents that happen along the way. Okay, so I guess I will turn this paper. Oh, no. I need to see what this paper size is like compared to the page size in the book. That's it. Yeah, I definitely want to do it vertically. Okay, 1 photo per sheet and vertical. Good thing to figure out. And I'm going to use a Purell transfer method, which is using Purell hand sanitizer gel. So I'm just flipping it over. This is the emulsion side, which is more dull than the non-emulsion side. And let's get an idea where I'm doing the transfer. Can you pass me a paper towel, dear?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Got too much gel, so I'm just going to wipe some off of my brush. There needs to be a surface film, but it needs to be a reasonably thin surface film.
Oh, it just looks like that paper is ready to just completely disintegrate, but I know better.
Yeah, that's the advantage of using a Chinese, Japanese, or Korean paper, is the tradition of using ink. Means the papers are designed to work with ink washes and brush and ink, which means they have even really thin papers like this that are translucent, have a lot more wet strength than you would expect.
Yeah, because looking at that, it just looks like you could just like drag your finger across it and just like pull it apart.
Yeah.
It's not the case, right?
Yeah. So just going to let that sit for a minute. Because it's thin paper, I don't need to let it sit for as long as for thicker paper. So I just got my little stopwatch going. In fact, I probably will only make it half a minute. Looks kind of interesting with the red coming through.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That might give you a clue, sort of a preview of one possibility, right?
Yeah. That's right. Just make sure my corners are and edges. I mean, in fact, would I think it was tragic if it had distressed edges? No. But hopefully the face will come out nice and clear. That is a priority. So I'm just going to double check the burnishing. And here we go. Well, look at that.
Oh, that worked
Almost
very well.
perfect.
Yeah.
Just some little speckles didn't come across. So now, even though this paper has great wet strength, it compared to other papers of this that seem equivalent, it is fragile when it's wet. You do need to exercise due care, as they would say. So I'm just going to slide this. I'm going to gently peel it off the silicone mat that I'm working on and slide it onto this page protector so I can move it out of the way. Set it aside to dry. Get my next sheet. There we go.
You often just let those air dry, but could you put them in front of a fan?
Yes, you can put them in front of a fan. No problem. Actually, I did mean to bring my hand fan to the table.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't mind getting that out of my handbag, that would be great.
Oh, you mean like a...
Yeah, like the blue silk.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The blue silk. I never knew my father when he had this much hair, so I find it quite interesting looking at the very few photographs I have of him like this. And it's funny because his two older brothers never lost their hair. Yeah, they had beautiful thick hair right to the end. No doubt excuse me. No doubt it's because Dad was the first to come to Canada. He was here way longer and ate too much Canadian food. You can't find it in the red handbag?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Expect it's in one of the pouches.
Well, that's where I'm going now.
Excellent. All right, let's get rid of some of that.
Hang on.
You got it? Awesome, thank you. Sorry, it was such a tricky job digging around in my purse.
And hope all ye who enter here.
Yeah, it's true. I got this new purse, I don't know, a few weeks ago that I absolutely adore. It's a red leather purse, but it's kind of like a big red leather bucket. And so I've put various pouches inside to help corral the contents and organize them a little bit. But it compared to my much more compact handbags that I customarily have worn, that also normally have lots of built-in organizers. This one's quite the adventure. Eh, and yet I still love it. So there we go. Okay. I'm hoping this will come out well. Again, the face is my priority. I don't mind so much if other parts are distressed, and I can see part of it already is. There's a bit too much gel here, so it's moved the emulsion.
Yes, Rebecca says you can buy purse organizer inserts.
Yes, and it came with one, but it's not one that really works well. I should probably look into a good purse organizer insert.
You have a 2 or 3 in there, but they're sort
Well, I
of
have pouches, but
yeah, sort of semi organized, which is
yeah.
better than not organized.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's better than actually
Yeah.
just all flying
Yeah.
around loose.
I know X kind of things are in this pouch, and
Yeah.
Y kind of things are in that kind of pouch.
Exactly.
So Rebecca says, in old pictures, my dad looks exactly like John Denver. Wow.
Oh, really? Wow. Isn't that amazing? My eldest aunt, who's still alive, bless her, she said that when my dad was still in Indonesia, he was considered quite tall. He's ever so slightly taller than my mother, who is 5'8", and which was well above average for women of her generation. And but he was also, she said, handsome as a movie star. So he got a lot of attention from the ladies, apparently. Clearly, I need to drink more. So I'm going to pause and drink something.
And he wasn't just a good looker, he was very charming.
That's the thing, right? He was such an attractive personality. He basically got along with everybody. Everybody liked him. I think I need one more page protector. I'm sorry to.
I'm sorry.
What would I do without Kal here? Honestly, I'd be.
You'd be out of frame a lot.
Running, yeah, it would be. I'd be running around trying to find things. Even though I did take time to gather things beforehand, but
there's no anticipating everything.
No, not there. So there he is. I'll let him dry.
Yeah. So how old would he be in that photo? Is that 20s?
Late 20s, very, very late 20s. A baby. Except my mother was significantly younger than that, so. All right, while I wait for those to dry, I'll introduce you to these things, which are, look at the, let's see if I can show you the paper quality on this. Let's get the camera to focus. So you see the paper is quite textured and has little flecks in it. It's quite interesting, I think. This is called Hell Money, and hell, it really is referring to the afterlife. And it is a traditional paper offering to ancestors, people who have passed. And there are all kinds of things you can offer. By the way, this character here is the character for gold. And these are gold, traditional forms for gold in Chinese culture and currency called, I don't know exactly how they're pronounced, tiles or tails, Taels in plural, which was and they came in different sizes depending on the value you were after. So it's representing wealth, obviously. And this also is my name. The Kim in my name is gold. But look at the denomination of this bill. What is that? $80 billion. 80 billion whatevers. Pretty funny. Unfortunately, I can't read you all of these things. I recognize some of the characters, but it's not enough to give me to be able to give you a sense of what it says. So anyway, I thought it would be fun.
And 8 is a lucky number in Chinese culture, correct?
Yes.
That's why it's not 1.
Well, is it 8? Yeah, 4 is the unlucky number and 8 is the lucky number. Is that right? One of them resembles the word phonically, the word for death in Cantonese culture and Cantonese dialect. And so the one that sounds like death is not lucky.
Right, obviously.
In case there was any doubt. So I have a backwards. I printed one of my sheets of transfer film backwards. You need to print mirror image because it's like printmaking, like so much of printmaking. And I thought I could maybe overlay my dad's face on this face.
3, 5, and 8 are considered lucky. Well, 4 is unlucky.
Right.
Not unique to Chinese culture, while with other countries with a history of hand characters also having similar beliefs stemming from the concepts of numerology.
Right. So a number of, Japan borrowed written language from China and Korea also, although they developed their own written, both of them developed their own written languages. All right.
Rebecca also confirms. She said 4 is the unlucky one, same in Korea.
Yes. Well, there you go. All right. I need to go get myself something.
You can't send me?
I'll just.
All right. I'll just hum quietly to myself and try and keep people amused. Or maybe not.
That.
I might not. They might be grateful.
Just getting some watercolor crayons. It's just the emulsion side here. There we go.
If you want to tell people about your Crayola video shooting experience.
Oh, yeah. So I thought I had videotaped recorded a video of me doing my next installment in my Cheap and Cheerful Art Supplies series. I call it a series. It's very irregular. It would be episode 2 of my irregular series, but I intend more and in my irregular way. And so I went to edit it. Was it yet? No, it was the day before yesterday. Yeah. Because I thought I'll get that prepared and then I will, it'll be ready for when I do my next newsletter this week. And it will be up and ready to go. And I filmed it in 2 parts. And the first part, was okay. And the second part was not all of the stuff I did, all of the demonstration and explanation and whatever. It was me thinking I was stopping the filming and just saving it and so on. So I have to reshoot. I'll just reshoot the second part because the first part included the unboxing, which was, I held back on unboxing it with this whole thing in mind. And anyway, such is life, right?
Oh, Rebecca says no, do it, and now I'm not sure in reference to what.
Oh, do what?
It says no, do it, but
maybe getting up and getting my stuff.
Oh, maybe.
Oh
no, she's referring to my amusing them.
Oh yeah.
And that trust me, I don't have any ideas, so this is well that Kim returned.
I didn't go far. Okay.
Fortunately.
So I don't know. I've never interacted with these Joss paper. This Joss paper money before, and I've therefore never done an image transfer onto them. So let's see what happens.
It's designed to be burned, correct?
Yes.
So it probably isn't the best art material, right?
No,
because it doesn't need to be acid free or even very sturdy, but it does need to be combustible.
It does need to be combustible.
Thank you, Rebecca.
What did she say? You could at least tap something out. Oh, some of the red and green is coming through, which is good, but I didn't want the face of the pre-printed character to come through so strongly that you wouldn't be able to see my father's face. And you see, it's too bad I didn't do this when he was alive. He would have got a big kick out of this.
Yeah. You can hear him laughing at it.
Oh, yeah.
With it, whatever.
Yeah. No, he would have enjoyed that a lot. Okay, I'll just let it soak in a little bit.
But your family, if you do this and show this as part of your exhibition, will absolutely love it. Isn't there something interesting and more satisfying about doing? Well, I don't know, but it's nice doing it this way, like not digitally, right?
Yeah.
Doing it as a
analog,
process.
just like exactly. Handmade, with all the not worrying about the fact that it looks handmade, like that's sort of the point. I might ultimately do something digitally too with these, scanning them in.
You will, but there is something that
interacting with them by hand first is a great way to think about what I might do in other ways.
I think because we are a species that has developed over millennia facility with tools and understanding of the things we work with using our hands, that
I love the distressed edge here. It's made the transition really good.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We have a very clean edge there, but
it sort of breaks up nicely.
Nice and porous there. Yeah. So that's quite fun. And then this design here is shown up on my dad's forehead, which is kind of fun. It's almost like he has face paint or tattooing on him. And his eyes are very close to where the pre-printed eyes are. See that dark spots there and there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's worked out pretty well. And when that dries, I can decide if I'm going to enhance that or what else I might do with it. But I already find that interesting. It's an interesting start at the very least. Okay, this is still damp, so I'm going to get my book out. Where did I put the one with Dad on it? The transfer I did onto
Over there somewhere?
No, I've got my grandfather over
okay.
here. Oh, here he is. Okay. Got him.
All right. So
Lost him there temporarily.
Lost
him temporarily. Because I have another spread idea I want to do right after the spread with those 2 photo transfers. So those will be the photo transfer. I'll collage on the Japanese paper. And then this, yeah, I think I can do without those rats, actually. I'll be okay with that. When I was a kid, I stumbled on the film 1984, a black and white version. I suspect it was a British filming of it, but I couldn't swear to that because I was really, I don't know, I would have been in elementary school. And there's a scene where they, I think, lock him in a room with a huge number of rats, or in a cage with a huge number of rats, and as a torture device. And I think I was kind of traumatized by that. And while I have no problem with lab rats, like, they're fine, the wild rats freak me out. Because
coming across stuff you're not ready for when you're young is can be so traumatic.
Yeah. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to need 2 page protectors here. So I'm afraid I have to trouble you for yet another page.
Well, it's my own silliness for passing you them one at a time.
Maybe have a 2 or 3 handy just in case.
I'm gonna.
Excellent. All right. That's good. All right, this is where the ink comes in. I've got some India ink here that I'm going to use. And I actually want to just paint this spread black.
I immediately heard that Rolling Stone song about Paint It Black.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this is India ink, super black Speedball brand. Just because I know people wonder. Maybe people in replay.
Oh, I bet you Val was wondering.
You can make your own India ink, Val, from trash.
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's carbon, right?
Right.
So burnt
stuff. Yeah,
stuff.
That makes sense.
And shellac. So that part's not garbage, but
Does shellac still come from beetles or something?
Yeah, it does. So it's a natural.
Right. It's a different beetle than cochineal, right? Or is it?
I suggest you Google it,
I'm about
actually.
to. Yeah. Resin secreted by the female lac bug on trees in the forests of India and Thailand.
There you go. Makes a waterproof ink.
Processed and sold as dry flakes, dissolved in alcohol to make liquid shellac, which is used as a brush-on colorant, food glaze, and wood finish.
Yeah.
But
Food glaze, because it's natural and not toxic. It's a benign substance.
And in fact, I just, because one of the questions it said is shellac poop, and apparently it is.
It's poop?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's interesting that the Wikipedia, the first line of the Wikipedia says it's secreted.
Yes.
But
yes. That's a polite way of putting it.
It is.
It is, in fact, secreted.
Yeah.
Or excreted. More specifically. There. No, where's that fan?
You gotta love black.
Yeah, black is beautiful.
So delicious.
It looks like lacquered black, and
it really does.
And how Chinese is that? Or East Asian, anyway. But probably starting with China, because that was the culture of origin for so many things. Apparently my fan is dusty, so when I fanned this, things started landing on the wet ink.
Always test your fan first.
Well, and appropriately, I'm using a Chinese fan.
Because dust can get caught in the fan base.
I get fan base. I'm not getting the.
No, I don't.
It's not working as a whole thing.
More
I
coffee,
don't think.
More coffee. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I can't even pun, Rebecca. If I can't even pun, there's no point humming.
There's no. Well, she might argue the opposite.
Yeah,
if you can't pun,
yeah,
you might need to hum to at least.
Well, humor is closer to a first language than music is, for me.
Yes, that's true.
As Kim's ears will attest.
Speaking of music, I don't know if all of you have seen my latest blog post, but it's sort of related to music because of the singing lessons I've been taking since March, when my life got completely insane, our life, with all the family emergencies and things that ultimately led to 2 deaths in the family. So I started singing lessons to get through that time, and I was inspired to write a blog post, not a long one, but it is a meaningful one. That's really about the importance of beginner mind and doing things that feel new or feel a little nervous making.
Yeah, exactly. I think while it is about singing, it is about creative regeneration, really.
Yeah.
Which
for anyone.
Need. Yeah,
for anyone.
All need. Yeah.
Exactly.
Artists need it.
Artists need it a lot.
But I would argue
regular people need it.
Exactly.
Non-artists, I should say. Lay people. Sounds funny. Anyway, everybody needs it. It's a human thing. Just different degrees are needed. But yeah, I've really been enjoying the lessons. So this is good. This is dry already. There's a part here that I can see is not yet dry. But it's lovely that it dries relatively quickly.
As quickly as it does.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just give it a little more fanning. Now, what I intend to do to these black pages, seeing them makes me want to do more black pages in this book. So I think that will happen. But for this particular pair, I want to gel plate print onto them using one or two of the big rhubarb leaves that I've collected and kept alive for some time now on our tabletop. I refuse to let go of the living green. Even though we're having an unseasonably mild November, I'm clinging with all my strength to the signs of life, because I'm not looking forward to going through a winter. I think psychologically it feels hard this year to do that. So anyway, that part that looks wet is fine now. So I'm going to get my gel plate ready.
It'd be fun is to do something on that with the Simple Ultra Black, Ultra Matte.
Oh, yes.
Because look at how shiny that is.
I'll show you what Cal's referring to. You may have seen this in my Instagram posts, but this is the Stuart Semple Black 2.0. So someone invented something called Vanta Black, which is the blackest black in the world. And the amazing, renowned sculptor, contemporary sculptor, Anish Kapoor, purchased exclusive rights to use it in art. And that really offended a lot of artists, including Stuart Semple, who is British as Anish Kapoor is. And so he started a company. It's called Culture Hustle, and developed paint to rival it. So Black 2.0 was the first attempt at their
1.0.
Well, Black 1.0 is regular black, I think.
Oh, okay,
right?
Okay, right. Yeah,
so this is Black
yeah,
2.0.
yes,
So this is the improved version of
Yes,
black.
yeah.
But he has a Black 3.0, which is even blacker, even, but I bought some Black 2.0, and it is super, super matte black. That's why Cal's talking about it, because the India ink, because of the shellac content, has this incredible sheen.
Luster,
Yeah, it's gorgeous, actually. But it would be fun to do something in matte black on it. And so I'm totally going to do that. But this is the problem, right? I mean, it's not a problem. You do something and then you get like 10 ideas for it.
Yeah.
So that's actually,
right?
I think, an advantage of altered books, because you've got spread after spread after spread that you can keep
have an idea and
playing.
Think, okay, I'm not going to do that on this one, but I've got more pages. So
exactly. You're looking for things like that. So just take a drink.
Further to our talking about learning and your singing, Rebecca says she always has to be learning something. It's why she likes art and science, particularly studying the natural world. Absolutely. Every creature, from single cell to the largest creature on the planet, every growing thing, every living thing, even mineral things, are just so unspeakably beautiful.
Yep. And they're both areas, the natural world and art, that are completely open-ended. So
Yeah.
you could live to be 300 years old and there'd still be plenty to learn. Just thought I'd share this. I'm putting some barrier cream on after working with the India ink, which is kind of my usual routine. I
There's the
didn't
barn
know
door
that
and
Avon sells a silicone glove protective hand cream, but they do. So in case that helps anybody out there, um, and that's a handy size for if you go to classes or a residency or plein air painting or something. Nice to have that size. Okay. Now I need some paint. Move that aside for the moment. I need to have 360 degrees of tables around me.
and then you would have about half of what you want to have at hand.
That's too funny.
Whenever we drive anywhere, as soon as we're sat into the car, Kim starts looking for things, and she says, "Now I know we brought ... And I say, either under my breath, I either curse because I put it too far away, or I tell her where it is, because Kim wants the convenience of everything that she can possibly imagine needing within arm's reach.
Well, and because I need so many things, and I'm ADHD, so
so your whole life is that, right? She needs to live in an intimate sphere where everything is within arm's reach,
visible and close at hand.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's easy.
It isn't,
but it is. It just is. So I'm just going to mix some phthalo blue into this. Just trying to find just the right, create just the right blue for my gel print. And of course, I am now questioning myself whether I'm making enough paint.
I'm going to quickly add some more. Right?
Add some more with a second palette knife. There we go.
Rebecca, do you have I imagine with your wide-ranging curiosity, you go through, as you're learning a particular thing, you go through periods of fascination. Do you have an area of nature that you're particularly fascinated with in terms of shape or color, or in terms of artistic?
Applying it to art?
Yeah, or even just enthusing. Like, I find like things like going to the grocery store and buying rainbow trout and looking at the colors of the skin are unbelievable, and crustaceans too. Like, but
Mary Pratt did a brilliant job with the fish skin and tinfoil too, which is not unrelated. And because it's going on black, I'm going to make this darker than I would to put on white. Oh, I feel like if I had my good microphone, this would be a great opportunity for me to make an ASMR video, mixing paint with that.
ASMR, you're going to have to expand on that. I'm sure Rebecca knows what you mean, but I have no idea.
there's a whole I feel like there's a whole branch of YouTube that's just about sounds and voices that create an effect called ASMR, and it taps into, not everybody has the sort of brain that gets a frisson from the experience of it, but certain kinds of soft, gentle noises, like there are some women I know who speak in soft tones like this. I hope you could hear that because I know we don't have the good microphone. um, and they'll tell a whole story that way, and it apparently gives a pleasure to people with the right kind of brain. Now, it can just be relaxing too because everything's very quiet. But some will be crumpling tissue paper, gently crumpling tissue paper, or mixing paint, or gone. Tell me someone out there knows what I'm talking about, since Cal obviously doesn't.
I know you've talked about the fact that you found videos of people mixing color on
Yeah,
YouTube,
it's not
and
just
it's
for the
not
visual
an
though.
artistic necessarily. It's
Yeah, no, it's just for the sake of it.
sensory.
Yeah.
Rebecca says, I've always been obsessed with flowers. Doodled them since I was a kid. I also love birds. Oh my goodness, bird feathers. You could spend an eternity in the subtle colors and shapes of the feathers, and I'm not even sure what the little spines that come off of them are called. But,
yeah.
Occasionally, sadly, I'll come out of our front door and see that a bird has died on one of our windows, and I have this moment of, like, I don't know, a couple of minutes of sadness and awe at the colors and the shapes. I just
remember once I saw a dying flicker. I don't know what it was dying of, but I was walking on a trail, and
they're so beautiful.
And I'd never seen one of them before. That's how I learned what they were, because when I got home, I looked them up right away, and it was just an astonishingly complex coloration that sort of overall looked very subtle, but up close was incredible. So many colors and so complex. I mean, it just, hard to believe.
Gray
really.
Squirrels are unbelievable.
Yeah,
right? They're gray,
and gray bunnies too.
Yeah,
wild rabbits.
You see them at a distance, and it reads as like a warm gray, and then you realize that's made up of like this huge
so many
range
colors
of colored hairs.
It's kind of a good principle for painting, actually.
It is, actually.
You know, don't paint the gray bunny. Paint lots of different colors to get the right effect overall.
Yeah, I've started in design work trying to use that principle of using less black and more mixing complements,
right?
To get across, to make colors subtler.
I still love black because I'm a print designer, and black is like the most basic thing. But yeah, I also like mixing black with stuff in order to tune it to suit something.
Further to the mixing paint and voices, Rebecca says whispering is a big one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I forget what ASMR stands for, but Cal can Google it if he gets curious enough.
I will in a moment. Rebecca says flickers are gorgeous. I first saw a Bohemian waxwing and a few other rarer birds because they were killed on windows. Yeah. It's heartbreaking, but it's also this moment you can sort of treat it as a moment of reverence.
Yeah.
And an ability to get a really good look at.
And you're there to honor it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It kind of feels like a responsibility, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think I need to condition my plate. It's getting sticky.
autonomous sensory meridian response.
There we go.
Sometimes autosensory meridian response also is a tingling sensation that typically this is why Kim should go into radio and Kal should just be quiet and not even hum.
Oh, nonsense.
All right, let's try that again.
Yes. Include all the syllables this time.
Autonomous sensory meridian response, sometimes autosensory meridian response, is a tingling sensation that typically begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. A pleasant form of paresthesia, it has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and may overlap with frisson.
Frisson. That's the word I use to describe it. Okay, I do need some open medium. There we go. Just so everybody feels fully informed. I'm sorry it's so bright, but need it bright for the table. So, okay, let's get some of this on here.
You're always brightening up our day.
Yeah, my dear.
You are.
What a smoothie you are. Not sure where I know where one of my 4-inch brayers is, which is not here. But I don't know where I don't know where the other one is. I can only see the 2-inch. So pardon the squeaking. This one happens to be squeaky. And it's also rather small for this plate, but hey, you know,
we
adapt.
We went out for dinner last night.
We did.
A restaurant that's slightly swishy, and
took my godmother out for a treat.
Yes, yeah, and the poor poor
waitress.
Thank you. I was trying to think if there was a
server.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Had just a terrible time with pepper grinders.
Yeah.
First she brought one that was spewing full peppercorns, and so she said, "Okay, I'll be right back." So I came right back, and then that one
made horrible noises.
As soon as she turned it, it was uncomfortable how noisy and squeaky it was. So then she had to bring the third, and the third one was the charm. But
yeah, which she was sincerely hoping it would be. Okay, now which of these? So here's one of my rhubarb leaves. Oh dear, I've dripped some water on the plate. That's not going to be good for the print, I know. I know from hard experience.
You want a little paper towel to...
Well, and then, well, I guess I could
just roll her over
it. There's the paper towel. You know what? I'm going to grab this one because they've been sitting in water. They're dripping water.
Yeah.
And look, I'm getting a... Oh, you can't see it on the... because this isn't close enough to me. Oh, you're tilting it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's where the water fell. So I have to do some more brayering. There we go. Oh, I've dripped more water. Honestly, what a state of affairs.
Oh, look at that. Great effects there.
Yeah, not the even coating that I'm looking for.
No, right.
No.
Rebecca says the Bohemian waxwing was killed on the windows of a nature center she worked at. So our boss had it stuffed for the nature center. Well, that's a good use.
Yeah. I mean, given that it has passed away anyway,
exactly.
At least it can be appreciated and used educationally. That's right. I remember you worked at a nature center. I couldn't have generated that on my own today, especially today. I don't know I think it's because we had such a big day yesterday that my brain is that's why I didn't manage to do any promotion.
and
Which is why we don't have our usual size crowd today. All right, so I'm going to lay this on here, trying to get every inch covered in leaf. For the veins, of course. Those who know me know I am vein obsessed. So
Vasco de Kim.
what's that?
Vasco de Kim.
Vasco de Kim. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
no,
Sorry.
Why would you?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Cal's doing little drawings in his sketch pad with colored fine liners.
And I often have some kind of a plan. This is a grid. So I'm having one of those days too.
I think that's the symptoms for you. Yeah.
I think
that and incomplete puns.
I can't pun and I can't hum. And I can barely read a Wikipedia. So
it's a low biorhythm day.
So good thing we're doing a live podcast.
That's right. Live stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here's hoping that I've got a good. Oh, doesn't the leaf look beautiful? Love that.
And I love this big leaf with a square piece of blue on it. It's like a window of sky on the.
Funny, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, this. Oh boy, this looks beautiful. So I hope I can print it well. I'm going to print it on the flatter page because this is my first print of the day, and normally I wouldn't advise myself. Hi, Kirk.
Hey, Kirk. Kirk just dropped in between meetings and wanted me to say hi.
Oh, so, I just realized I want the blue one on the other side.
Uh-oh.
That's classic me. All right.
You need an extra hand, or all right?
I think I'll be okay. I'm going to lean the book against there so that it flattens this page somewhat. All right, here's hoping.
Here goes nothing. Here goes leaf.
Hoping.
Yeah. Rebecca said of the blued leaf that it was beautiful. It sure was.
Yeah, really. There's a photography project in that, our photo series. Okay, basically got it down. So now I'm going to try and flip the page.
I can see a little bit under it, and it's already looking great.
Yeah, that's not going to work. And I don't have a big brayer, so I'll just use this really small brayer to burnish it some extra.
Burnish it somewhat extra.
Summit. Okay, here goes nothing. Well, except for one corner, that's quite good.
That's great. Looks like it's held quite nicely.
There. I'm holding it at an angle so that the reflections don't overwhelm. So I moved the plate, obviously, so you get that chatter.
Yeah, you got
it's like motion.
Yeah. One side is crisper and the other side's like it's moved, which is fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's lovely having the black behind that, I think.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca says, so dramatic with the black, and Val says, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite exciting, and it looks like a recent post I did on Instagram. It looks like suburban road maps, the streets that go
Oh,
like this,
the
non-straight.
convoluted, non-linear.
That's right.
Well, not non-linear, but non.
Here, why don't I get a little impression onto this bottom of this page. No, it's dry. Even though I put some open medium in, I've been working it long enough that it's actually dry. So I'll just clean this off. Clean off my roller too.
I should just give you a heads up that it's 3:21.
Is it really? Goodness.
Which really doesn't seem possible.
It doesn't.
Feels more like 20 minutes rather than
It does.
an hour and 20.
It really, really does. Okay, well, maybe I will put a page protector in here. I should probably fan it a little bit if I knew where my fan was.
I hear that and know that I should be jumping in, but I'm in the middle of a strike.
Oh, there it is. Found it. Just to get that.
It's fun watching it on the, like a bird flew in.
Yeah. Okay, and I had taped, because the page was curling, I taped it to the page behind it, which I've just remembered. But I'm going to collage on the image of my grandfather onto this page. And then once that's been collaged on, my plan is to gel print, same basic idea, but done slightly differently for a different effect. Gel print the veins onto the page. So let's get a page protector. And let's see what the width is like. Okay, so I need to cut some width off. So I'm going to do that with a ruler. Just going to identify creasing it with the ruler. All part of that handmade aesthetic, I guess. There we go. So now I'll be able to apply that properly. It is one of the challenges of the book format, that unless you're in the middle of the book, one side of the spread is curved, whereas the other one is flat. So you got to sort of figure out good ways to work around that. Always running out of space. Always. Like now I'm working in this really cramped, inadequate spot for the task that I'm trying to do. So I'm not getting 100% of the paper covered in the glue, but the photograph is covered. And the edge that's in the spine. And where's my applicator? Because I certainly need that. And you'll see that the paper's a lot more transparent than it seemed before I applied it to this. Now, I also want to straighten the photograph out a bit. It's really important that this be dry, otherwise I'd be ruining the surface of I'd be ruining the photograph right now by burnishing it like this. And now I can come in and bring in a little more glue.
You sort of got it positioned where you want it, so now you can peel up part.
Yeah, peel up part and then burnish it down.
Is that fully glued?
Hopefully you can, oh, that's perfect. Now I've got the glue in my paint. This is what happens when your space is too cramped. Anyway, I'm just realizing I'm speaking softly, a la ASMR. So I hope you were able to hear me all right. Okay. And I need to get this other part glued down.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
You're trying to make one of those glue sticks that's blue when it goes on.
That's right. Except it doesn't change from blue at all. Okay. And the outer edge of the page too, I want to get firmly glued down. So there we go. Okay.
Rebecca says she can hear you fine.
Oh, good.
We're gonna have to start paying you a technical technical assistance.
Bless you for the
Rebecca.
feedback.
You always give us...
Yeah, out of our profits. This is the premium free live stream after all, right? So we should have lots of profits. Oh dear. It's good though. I'm really glad to be back working in this book. You know, I had to put it aside for a while because it requires a certain amount of organization and thinking ahead of time to work on it, which I didn't have the bandwidth to do for quite a while there. So this is progress that I'm able to now. So I'm just trimming the page, obviously, to get rid of the excess paper and using the cutting mat where I can. And then I'll have to fine tune the little stray bits here without the cutting mat. That is where a pair of sharp scissors comes in handy. And I'll have to fine tune it even a little further down the road. Okay. So it's odd because we have this other photograph. Oh, and I did the glue, the moisture in the glue soaked through the paper. Let me show you. And so I actually have a couple of holes in my paper, all part of the handmade aesthetic. Am I right?
Yeah, you can see a little of the text in the page below peeking
Yeah,
through, which is
peeking
actually
through
kind of
right
great.
there. But it's sort of interesting, this offset gray
Yeah,
from the
that's
photo
great.
below. Yeah, it just makes it a little less regular, right? There's
Totally.
something
It's
interesting
you
happening.
know, with the offset light gray and then the sort of higher contrast splotches, there's a nice back and forth. So don't worry about it at all.
Yeah, so I need to let that dry before I do my print on it. I'm going to put the collage, similarly, the photo of my father here. Let me get that so we can sort of pre-visualize it. There we are.
All right, so they're more or less the same size. One's dark, one's light background, which is kind
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah. I mean, if I could have, I would have found a straight on of my father's face at that time, but everything was ever so slightly.
Yeah. There's also a nice sort
3/4.
of visual alignment from the gray box on the one side to the
To
the
the
horizon behind
the
them.
sofa
The
line.
Sofa line, yeah. Sofa line, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Rebecca
So
says adds texture of the
yeah,
splotches. Yeah.
yeah. And there's certainly, there's all kinds of irregularities in the photographs and in the little speckles in the transfer as well. So this side, my grandfather's image is going to have the blue, and that's why I've got the blue on the left side of the black. And then my father's side is going to have the red. And in my, this is me referencing the anatomical convention of representing deoxygenated blood with blue and oxygenated blood with red. So that just, it comes up a lot in what I do and can signify a variety of things. But I like the effect of putting this Japanese paper over top of the book page. I think it pushes back the text. You can read every word of the text except behind the black, but it pushes it back nicely, which is good. So made some progress today.
Yeah. Fun.
So thank you, everybody who came. Rebecca and Val, and of course anybody who's watching this later on. Thank you so much. And next Monday is Virtual Collage Jam.
That's correct. And stay tuned for next Monday. I will have more full details on the plan for the Gladstone.
On the live event, which will
November 29th.
29th. Yeah. I'll just reiterate that the live event at the Gladstone will be at the same time.
Exactly.
And it will also be live streaming on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we will be sending out to anybody who's signed up for the email list an invitation to sign up for a limited number of spots for that. For in-person, but unlimited spots for the live stream.
Exactly.
So great. Well, take care. And
Rebecca says, thank you for a great party as usual. It's great to have this time together.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Likewise.
And
thanks, Val. Have a great week and see you next time.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Take care, guys, and we'll collage with you next week. And until then, keep being creative.
That's right. Oh, I didn't put my face on. Why don't I just end with my face?
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. I can even just turn it around. There we go. So, have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. Bye for now.